We're here, basement studio of Steve Brown. First, I got to ask, how long have you been working on this? I'm assuming you're still adding.
Well, no, man. This is we are here in Ringwood, New Jersey.
Yes.
Mojo Vegas 6160. You finally made it, Sam.
I did make it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And hope you had a nice trip down.
It was a very nice trip. I made a wrong turn, but that's okay.
Hey, it happens.
Yes, it does.
We're in the mountains in New Jersey here, but I've been here 29 years, and the studio. When I bought this house, the studio was the first thing that, besides when I walked in the front door, and you haven't seen the upstairs, but
No.
you can see we have a big fieldstone fireplace. It's beautiful. And when I saw that, I was like, this is cool. But I told the real estate agent, I said, where's the basement? And he brought me down here, and this basement was not finished. It was, a, junky, sort of, had a what do they call it? A wood stove heater. And, but I knew, because the shell was here, and I knew the garage is attached, so I knew that we could bring the gear in.
Yep.
And, I say it all the time. It was the smartest thing, one of the smartest things I ever did with my money. It was one of the greatest investments I ever made, was building this studio. And myself and Maz, the guitar player from 40 Foot Ringo and the Ted Poley solo band, him and I built this studio. So there's a lot of sweat equity on my part and Maz's part, doing the sheetrock and putting insulation in, and very much a lot like, and I've had this conversation. I had this conversation many times with Ed Van Halen back in the day, when him and Alex built 5150. And I've seen the pictures, and I've actually seen some video of them, when 5150 was basically 2x4s, and when they were recording 1984, it wasn't a finished studio at the time. So, there's something about that. And it was always my dream to be, of course, to be like Eddie Van Halen and have my own studio.
Isn't that everyone's?
Well, I don't know about everyone's. It certainly was mine, but to have this and to be able to, it really was, this room is what taught me how to be a producer and engineer. And of course, it elevated my abilities as a songwriter, a singer, and a player, to be able to have a space like this for myself, and to be able to share it with my friends and also paid customers too, who come in, people actually pay me money to produce their music.
Do you want to tell them how to do that?
There you go, kids. Stay in school, learn how to engineer, work Pro Tools, be a computer technician all at the same time.
And also, if you don't know how, give Steve Brown your money, because he does know how.
That's right. And my motto is always use a professional. Never try to do your own plumbing. It's a bad idea.
Yes. So you've taken the next step now, another similar to Eddie Van Halen. You have a record label. Look at that.
Yeah, well, I don't think Eddie Van Halen ever had his own record
They
label.
had 50. Well, it's close enough. So I'm assuming having a studio space, all this, that definitely comes in handy with having a label.
Well, you know what it is, Sam? You become, as the music business is always changing, and as you know, I grew up in the old era of records, tapes, CDs, analog tape, where a record label would give you $200,000 to go to California and make records and work with famous producers and stuff like that. Nowadays that doesn't happen, but all along the way I learned one important lesson, which was you yourself. You have to make things happen. No one else is going to do that. I did that when I started Trixter. I started the band, and we had to make our own way. And I was the leader of the band. I said, these are the songs we're going to play. These are the songs I'm writing. You do this, you do that. You jump this way. You say this. When I do my scissor kick, Pete, you come swinging around me. And it was all orchestrated. Yeah. But as time went on, when we did in the 90s, after Trixter, we lost our record deal. We had to survive on our own. Yep. And this studio was built so we could make the Undercovers record. Because we had some lawsuit stuff we were dealing with. So it was a real neat time, because you learn about self-sufficiency and being able to. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned to be able to do, to where, becoming an engineer, a producer, working on videos, photo sessions, everything, one-stop shop. It's all here. and even early in the 90s, when after Trixter, PJ and I started the band Throwing Rocks, I was selling CDs out of the garage, and you learn that that's how you become your own business entity. And Brownstone Music, my company, has been in business for 30 years now, and it houses all of my musical and musical, photo, video, merchandise, everything all in one, and it's an important thing for all you musicians out there that, the more you can do, even musically, playing guitar is never enough. If you can play guitar and sing, 9 out of 10 times you'll get the gig over another guy because you can sing. And certainly for me, the singing aspect has paid off tremendously.
Yes.
So, again, it's being able to do that. And for me, the engineering aspect of why I wanted to build the studio above and beyond, to be like Eddie Van Halen, to have a space, was that I was never satisfied with the way my records sounded. And I'd always have to sit there and answer to an engineer of like, why doesn't that snare drum sound like Tommy Lee? Why doesn't my guitar sound like Eddie Van Halen or Warren DeMartini? And they'd be like, well, they'd give me this long, answer. Well, it's the frequencies and it's, you have compressors. And I go, well, I don't fucking want to hear that.
Yeah,
I want my guitar to sound like this. I want the snare drum to rip your head off. I want it to be, and then once I started learning how to engineer, and there was a guy who was very important in my engineering sort of education, this guy Gene Porfido, who engineered the Undercovers record. He taught me all about that. And he taught me, basically whatever the rules are, and again, Eddie Van Halen, this was one of his big things. Rules are meant to be broken.
Yep.
And the other thing was, if it sounds good, it is good. I don't care if the things aren't wired right. If that snare drum is sounding like Tommy Lee, it sounds great to me. That's what you want.
And I mean, the people listening don't know how it's wired. Like,
of course. And so that was one of the early on, about learning engineering and making records and stuff. But I knew, and it was out of necessity, that I had to learn how to become an engineer because I was never happy. And then in that journey, I'm able to, continually learn, and it's still a, 30 plus year journey of still learning how to make that snare drum sound like Def Leppard or sound like Tommy Lee, get that guitar sound, but at least I control it.
Yes.
And if I screw up, I have no one to blame but myself.
Yes.
Or PJ, because I always just go,
put all the blame
it's
on
the bass
PJ.
player's fault.
Poor PJ.
I'm kidding, man. I love you, brother.
So part of the engineering thing, you guys just re-released Alive in Japan. Did you guys make any, engineering changes to it? Did you do any remixes or no?
No, it's absolutely the same. And it's just because the first batch we sold out so early on in 2008 when I released it. It was also when we put the band back together. I should have. You think I'd make more copies, but I didn't. And it sold out really quick, but it was kind of like, it was one of those things to where, you just kind of less is more sometimes, to where you just say, let's wait for the right time to re-release it. But it's re-released right now because I've also started my own label with my dear friend Adam Reaver from FU Tone. You guys out there in guitar world know Adam right here. These fine tremolo systems, the greatest locking bridge on the planet. So we do a lot of different things together, and it just dawned on me, hey man, instead of trying to deal with all these other record companies that have too much to say and opinions, I'm like, I don't want that. As you can tell, I like to be the boss. So Adam was the perfect partner for me in the sense to where, he's got a great infrastructure in shipping around the world and with his FU Tone products and all the things that he sells. So I came to him and he was like, you know what? This is an awesome idea. So we started Polymer Records, which, as you Spinal Tap fans out there, you might know what Polymer is. It's the, the record company from Spinal Tap. But Adam and I applied for the trademark, And lo and behold, it was available. And we own Polymer Records now. And so we're doing sort of what they say, like a soft opening.
Yeah.
You know, putting out my solo CDs, Rockin' Christmas Time,
Yeah.
the Kiss cover, 1,000,000 to 1, and now the Alive in Japan CD, which is re-released. So for the collectors, if you have it already, the only difference is it's got Polymer Records on it, which already makes it a collector's item.
So get both of them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can only get the new one now. The
Yeah,
old
well,
one.
yeah, if you have the old one now, you
Yeah.
need the new one.
You got it. It's up the value for all you collectors out
Yes.
there. But yeah, it's really cool. And then what's going to happen is, because I think most of you know it out there in TV and intraweb land, that the Alive in Japan CD, it's not the full show that we played in Kawasaki. We did some more songs that aren't on the CD, but we also did the cover songs from Undercover.
Yeah.
We did what did we do? We did Revolution, which I sang, the Beatles cover. We did Dirty Deeds, which PJ sang. So the plan is that maybe, if I'm able to pull it off by next year, which is going to be
Fingers
the 30th anniversary, we are going to do the full Alive in Japan reissue with the full show as it was, and then also vinyl, double gatefold, like real Alive, Kiss Alive style.
Yeah.
And but we're looking forward to that. So the goal with Polymer Records is going to be, it's not going to be like a Frontiers or Cleopatra where they're doing sort of full length bands and stuff like that. We are going to specialize in sort of rarities and maybe the things that, let's say, those labels wouldn't release.
Yeah.
But, going to, of course, be focused on my catalog. So we're hopefully going to be releasing, some of the rare Trixter stuff that hasn't found a home yet. Some of the other bands, Soaked, 40-Foot Ringo, Throwing Rocks, all those sort of things. The first official release is going to come early next year, which is going to be the vinyl double gatefold of New Audio, Trixter New Audio Machine, which remastered and stuff. The vinyl is going to come out first. It's going to be a double gatefold. The packaging is awesome. I'll show you off the record.
All right, yeah.
But it's going to be a real cool package. Blue vinyl. And then we're going to release a double, like probably not a double CD, but deluxe CD, which will have demos, live stuff. And so we're really looking forward to that.
So collectors,
really
start saving your money.
Yeah, exactly, because it ain't going to be cheap.
So one of the places you can get these is if you go and see you and PJ out hitting the road doing Acoustic Trixter.
For sure.
Yeah. So you guys are doing, how many cities are you doing now? You just announced a little mini tour.
Yeah, they're all touring. People laugh. So 4 shows constitutes as a tour, and I go, hell yeah.
It's more than one.
That's more than. Thank you, Sam.
Of course.
So yeah, we have 4 shows coming up. We got Addiston, Ohio on Friday, September 23rd. Richmond, Indiana. So Addiston, Ohio's Epic Event Center. We played there. It's basically just a catering hall.
It's the Epic Event Center.
Yeah, it's an Epic Event Center, but it's a catering hall. It's where they have like Sweet 16s and stuff.
And Trixter.
Yeah, and Trixter. And they've had other bands there. I think they've had some other cool things. But we got that. We got the Firehouse Barbecue in Richmond, Indiana, which Eric Martin and PJ Farley have played numerous times. A lot of acoustic bands have played there. And then we head down to North and South Carolina. We got the Charlotte area, Lake Norman, playing the Boatyard out there. And then Tripping Jenny, I believe, which is in Greer, South Carolina, which is about an hour and a half from the Atlanta area. So that's kind of a cool thing. But we've been just having a blast doing this Trixter acoustic tour. And,
it looks like fun.
You've seen it.
I was, yes.
And it's cool because, first off, like I always say, acoustic shows are what separates the men from the boys as far as musicianship, vocals. You really get to see, for PJ and I, how we mesh together.
Yeah.
Our voices, the harmonies we do together. No tracks, no backing tracks. We have our good friend Ben Hans on percussion.
Hi, Ben.
And hey, Ben. Hi, Dawn. How are you? But it's a real fun show because not only do we play the music, but there's a lot of storytelling, which is, as we go, it's evolving. And, I think that's always what's cool about the acoustic shows. You're able to kind of tell the insides, and we like to tell PJ and I, of course, there's always a comedic element to what we do, because hey, we're in Trixter, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be natural if it wasn't funny. So we like to tell the jokes, and of course the sort of the Spinal Tap version of events that we live, because every rock and roll band, big or small, we're all basically in the Spinal Tap movie. And Trixter, for sure, we have had so many Spinal Tap moments back in the day, and still to this day. So we like to share them, and we like to share all of those cool stories with everybody.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people, I know some people personally, acoustic isn't, their thing. It turns them off. Go to the show. I went to the show. It's fun. It's like, don't take it seriously. Just go have a good time,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely not rocket science, and it's not a presentation in nuclear physics. It's rock and roll and fun and great songs, and and I think PJ and I and Ben, I think we do a tremendous job, because though it's acoustic, I'm playing my Fender Acoustasonic guitar, and I'm able to do solos. So for all the shredders out there, there's a little bit of acoustic shred going on, and it's a cool thing. Another avenue for us to be able to go out and play. And financially it works out better, because, it's to bring out 4 guys is a lot more expensive than bringing out 2 or 3.
Yeah, for sure.
And with the acoustic shows, we don't need the big production.
No, you have a little, screen at some venues.
That's it, yeah.
Acoustic Trixter. That's it.
You took some pictures.
I did. I'm okay at pictures.
And Sam's part of the Steve Brown, Trixter, PJ Farley social media team, taking videos. I told him before the gig, I said, you better take some fucking video, kid, or I'm throwing your ass out of here.
You didn't tell me. I was told by others. Jody and Shannon Wilk were there, and they said, "Oh, Steve wants you to take videos." So you had to have, you had to have like your management team. Always, Jody and Shannon couldn't even talk to me directly, but that's okay.
Thank you, guys. Jody and Shannon are great visualizers, great pictures you take.
Yes. So another thing that you and PJ just did together, PJ is in Tokyo Motor Fest now. He's for a bit.
Oh, yes.
Part of it.
Wow.
That must have been fun to just be up there in that environment. Just a new environment with you and PJ. Still always fun to play with him.
Look, it's PJ and I, 34 years of playing together.
Yeah.
We are, to say we're tight would be the understatement of a lifetime.
You guys are okay together.
We finish each other's sentences. PJ and I have spent more time in 34 years together with our, with each other than we have with anybody else in our lives. Yeah. With our wives, with our kids, with our own families, So that just goes to show you how close we are. And again, it's just natural. So when Greg couldn't do these Tokyo Motor Fest shows, the first call is always to PJ.
Yeah.
And he does the same for me when gigs come up. He calls me. But, this was sort of important. I mean, they're all important, but important in many ways, because, it didn't dawn on me till that Dingbat show where Vic from Band Inc. was taking. I gave him my camera, take some candid shots, and he took this picture of me and PJ, and I looked at it, I posted it. And it was like, man, if this doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
Because that picture to me, it meant so much, because it was like, here we are backstage at Dingbats in Clifton. We love Dingbats, great rock and roll club. Freddie, Donna, we love you guys. Thanks for bringing in the fist. But here we were, and it dawned on me afterwards. I was like, wow, this picture... we're about to go on stage with our 10th or 11th different project over 34 years. There's something to be said for Gene and Paul with Kiss, 50 years, the same 2 guys playing in the same band. But here's Steve and PJ going on stage with their 10th or 11th different project. And it's very much nothing ever needs to be said. Yeah. We just go out there and do it and kick ass. And that's exactly what he did. And, and he had a blast afterwards. It was just, it was really natural. And it was really, I think, extra special for the fans as well.
So do you think you and PJ are getting to 12?
Oh yeah, I would think it's a
It has
given.
to
You
happen.
know, of course it has to happen. We might have to just start another goofy band to make that happen. But
Who would you start one with? And you can't
I've
say
no
people you've
idea.
already
Well,
been in a band with,
yeah.
because that's, you can't just say Ted Poley and then like
yeah,
someone else.
no, you know. Well, you know, I mean, you probably saw, you know, the other cool thing that we're trying to work on. You know, Chips Enough and I have a new band.
Yeah.
It's called One Brown's Enough.
Yep.
You get the joke? Does everybody get that joke? One Brown's Enough. You get it. So that might be the one. Maybe get PJ. PJ's a great drummer. Maybe we
Okay.
get PJ to play drums. You know, I told Chip already, I'm not playing guitar. I'm playing bass.
So
So
Chip's
he's got to
doing
play guitar.
All right.
So maybe PJ might be the drummer, and One Brown's Enough.
Maybe.
And,
He
you know, what do you guys think?
will put up a poll should this happen.
Yeah. Oh, Chip's already in. We talk about it all the time. But yeah, you know, so it's just you know, again, it's the never-ending sort of rock and roll dreams, you know,
Yeah.
coming true. And you know, and again, like I tell people all the time, Sam, it's, you know, whether I'm playing stadiums with Def Leppard
Yep.
or playing dingbats with Tokyo Motor Fist, I still put 500% into every performance.
Yeah.
And you know, again, this is what I love to do.
Yeah.
And I even love, believe it or not, I love doing interviews.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
new.
Yeah.
I'm glad I
Yeah.
found
What
somebody
a
who
new
actually
concept. But I don't think I'd invite you to my home if I didn't like doing it.
No, that's
so
true.
Much, you know.
But yeah.
I certainly like hearing the timbre of my voice.
After this is done, I'm just going to play this back for you so then we can all listen to it together.
Yeah, here you go.
So another thing,
Don't do that.
no, I won't. Oh, if you, we'll see. But
Okay.
so something else, you've been talking about, you know, evolving and changing. There's not many people from your era of music who are, we'll say, that good at social media. You've definitely come on it really strong. Like, you're good. You use it. You run the Trixter page, the Tokyo Motor Fist page, and everything. When did you really start? You know, when did that seem like it's an important thing? Because that.
Well, I wish I knew it was an important thing 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Because again, it was one of those things to where, look, I have a lot going on in my life, family, 12 bands, you know.
All with PJ.
Yeah, I mean, constantly writing, producing. So it's another, you know, and you probably know better than I do. Social media is a full-time job, so to speak.
I'm bad at it. I'm
But
really
it's
bad at it.
also, I've learned in the 3+ years since I got on Instagram and really taken to TikTok and Twitter. I was on Twitter for years, but I never really worked it. And I really wish I did, because now I know the importance of it. You know, as far as it becomes your one-stop shopping place.
Yeah.
And, you know, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not here to show pictures of me eating steak and lobster, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm here to sell myself, sell my
Yeah.
brand, and share my musical life with my friends and my fans
Yeah.
and people all around the world who at the end of the day are going to support me by
Yes.
buying my t-shirts, buying the CDs, buying Skype lessons, buying my studio time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is how I make my living. You
Yeah.
know, so, and since I've done that, I've seen what people have been telling me for years. Like, dude, you should be on social media. You will make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not the sole reason I'm doing it, but it is a part of it. And I see the importance of it. And again, with my new label and
Yeah.
the other, I have a lot of new projects, things I can't talk about that are coming up within the next couple years, and you will go, oh, I remember Steve saying that in the interview.
Yeah.
I have a master plan for what I'm doing, and all I can say, it's been great. And more importantly, it's to be able to share all of this with our fan base, and you're doing the same thing.
Yes, I mean, you
your
have
own
to,
fan
yeah.
base. And granted, it's definitely for me. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not shy.
Yeah.
You know, as you can tell, am I shy? Wait a sec, I'm so nervous. No, definitely not. So.
And so another thing, you are not, you know, the typical artist from the 80s. Like, sometimes they don't like younger bands. I don't know why, but that just seems a thing. But like we just mentioned Band Inc. You know, you've seen playing around the area.
Yeah.
You've really been able to make connections with guys like that. And like, you just had Kobe Reese open at Dingbats.
course.
So talk a little bit about, you know, being able to talk to and maybe in some way mentor, you know, younger bands. Do they come up and like ask you for advice on anything?
Without a doubt. I mean, look, I'm forever grateful for all the people in my life who helped me out, from my first guitar teachers. One of the first rock stars I ever met, Richie Rano from Stars, when I was a little kid, at a street fair in Paramus, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I recognized him because I saw him from the Kiss magazines. He gave me Stars guitar picks and a Kiss and Cheap Trick backstage passes in there.
There it is.
But long story short, yes, it's all about, and I don't want to say giving back, but it's what I love to do. If somebody asks me a question, if you ask me anything, I'll give you an answer. At least I don't know if it's the right one, but I love sort of being able to guide somebody like Kobe Reese. Of course, that kid. He's the next generation of hopefully great rock stars that are brought into this world to do this, like I was. So to be able to help a band like Band Inc., Victor and Juliana are just so talented, and I love that band.
Yeah.
There was a band years ago that I worked with called 100 to 1, who now they're called The Revel, which was, I worked with them when they were 10 and 12 years old, two brothers, Dean and Dylan D'Antuono. Now they're out on tour opening up for Buck Cherry. They're out on tour with Ours, our good friend Jimmy Necco, who, who's another guy that I grew up with, and spectacular talent. But it's all about that. And I think that, and I still get that from whether I'm hanging out with Gene Simmons or Paul Stanley or Alex Van Halen or Ed Van Halen or the Def Leppard guys.
Yeah.
I can't say enough, and my father was the one who pointed this out to me years ago when I got brought into the Def Leppard fold. He said to me, and it really rang true. He said, Steve, Phil is like a godfather to you.
Yeah.
He looks after you like a godfather would, to where he, of course, Phil has always been such a supporter of me and all of my talents, especially he was the one who always said, Steve, you got such a great voice. I love, and him and Joe were such 40-foot Ringo fans that we almost went out on tour with Def Leppard in 2002 because of that. But it was, having that older person who was a fan. And the other night, I think you saw the picture. I got to see my old buddy John Bon Jovi. And I haven't hung out with John in a long time, but I was out in the Hamptons playing a gig with Rubik's Cube, and John was at the gig. It was a huge A-list party, but NDA, I can't talk about it, non-disclosure agreement, but it was a huge Hollywood birthday party, but that's all I'm going to say. John was there, and I saw him after the show, and he was like, Steve, what's up? And it was like time stood still. But John Bon Jovi was the first guy who supported me as a songwriter with Trixter, believed in Trixter, and through the years helped us out so much. And I would, back in 86, 87, 88, I would send him, anytime we got a new demo, I'd send it to him. He'd call the hotline or call my house and say, Steve, I got your new tunes. Everything sounded great. Keep it up. And then lo and behold, later on, him and Doc McGee, John was one of the guys who was like, he told Doc, you got to get Trixter to open for the Scorpions.
Yeah.
And I'm forever grateful for that. And it's always great to see these guys who are such influences, but yet over the 30 years have become friends.
Yeah.
And that a lot of times I'm sharing the same stage with these guys.
Yeah.
The first tour I did with Def Leppard in 2014 when I was out on tour was with the Kiss and Def Leppard tour. The first sound check I ever did with Def Leppard when I was like, because those guys don't like to rehearse, so it was like they would get me ready to do the shows. I was on tour and I would play sound checks. But I'll never forget, it was up at the SPAC in Saratoga. Get the in-ear monitors in, get rocking. We play Hysteria. That's always the sound check song for Def Leppard. I'm playing, right, do-do-do-do-do. I look over my right shoulder. There's Paul Stanley and Eric Singer. And Eric's, Paul and Eric have been friends for a long time. But to see Paul Stanley, certainly one of my heroes, one of my biggest musical influences, sitting there with like this, watching me do one of my first sound checks with Def Leppard, it was pretty fucking cool.
That does sound
I was
pretty
like,
cool.
man, if this isn't crazy enough that this kid from Steve Brown from Paramus, New Jersey, is going to be playing with Def Leppard. I'm doing sound check, and Paul Stanley's 10 feet away from me, watching me, like kind of going, giving me the nod of approval. It was a monumental moment, so I certainly feel that with the younger bands. And any band out there, look, I'm always there to help.
Yes.
You can always email me or just, reach out to Sam and he'll relay the message.
Yeah, email me too. I have my email out there. It might just be easier to email him though, because I'm bad at email.
Okay.
But so another way, I mean, you said the label is going to be more for rarities and stuff. Are you ever looking to get to a point where you can make not too many, because you don't want to spread yourself too thin, obviously, but sign, some of these younger bands that you want to help?
Of course. I mean, nothing is off the table for us. Adam and I have already discussed, look, if we get an opportunity, let's just say we have the means and we know enough people. If we had to come up with a sizable amount of money to sign somebody, we could do it. So, but the key is we want to make sure that every release we have, we're able to give it the attention and be able to do a great job. And there's no rush. Like by doing this Trixter New Audio Machine vinyl, it's going to take a year by the time it gets done, because to get vinyl done nowadays, it takes 6 to 9 months just to get it.
Yeah.
So it's just, again, we're just enjoying the journey. But we don't rule anything out, and let's hope that we have that problem, where we go, hey man, what young band are we gonna sign?
Yeah. So something I have to hope for, and I'm sure it'll happen at some point. Is there any talks of a Tokyo Motor Fist live album? Can we get that?
Well, I don't really know. It's sadly, Sam, that's not up to us. That's up to Frontiers Records, because they own the rights. They own the
everything.
Name. It's there. When they put these super groups together, that's kind of in the contract, that they sort of own it all. So that's why there's really no official, Tokyo Motor Fist t-shirts. I don't know why Frontiers doesn't do it, but it's not my business.
It definitely sells. So if you want to go, if you want to yell at some people now, maybe not yell,
there's
but
some
kindly suggest.
There's some Tokyo Dynamite shirts out there that some Weisenheimer made last year when we played M3.
It was like Tokyo Motor Finger or something.
Tokyo Motor Boat.
You guys got a lot.
It's great. Hey man, you know what? I named the band.
Exposure.
I set myself up for it, but it's cool. I welcome it.
Yes. So are you guys working on, because this is something that you can control, because obviously you're doing it, you guys recording new stuff for Tokyo Motor Fist at the moment, or?
Not at the moment. I mean, look, the Lions record, our last release, which is now out on vinyl.
Yes.
I've said it numerous times, probably in my opinion, my greatest work of all, cohesive, producing, writing, playing. I think it's the best thing I've ever done. And, I don't really know how you top that.
Yeah,
and unless there's a really good reason, Frontiers, they haven't come to the table with a new offer, and I don't really know if I even want to do that. I'm really not at the place, in my life where I'm focusing on newer things, and right now, just so you know, I have a new single coming out in a couple weeks. I know we talked about it. It's called One to Lean On, and I'm going to play it for you in a little while. But that's really what I'm focused on, and doing things that I want to do.
Yeah.
We all know that, I'm known for the melodic hard rock thing, the Def Leppard meets Van Halen style music that I've been doing for 30 plus years. I'm not really that inspired to do that right now, especially after doing it. Not really going to get much better than this.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing right now, is I'm preparing myself for my first ever solo album release, which is going to be in 2032.
All right, we got the deadline set.
Which is another 10 years from now. And I did that because what the plan is going to be is that I'm going to release one solo song a year.
Yep.
And then the record's going to come out in 2023, probably record, documentary. I mean, there's going to be a lot that's going to go with it. It's not just going to be a vinyl album or a deluxe CD, if you will. Yeah. But it's going to be something very unique, and it's also going to be it's going to be a wide variety of music.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be hard rock. So the first song I released last year was Where Do We Run, that ballad.
Yep.
So a lot of the songs are songs that I wrote 25 years ago that never got released or never even got finished. So the new single, One to Lean On, is a brand new song that I wrote last year. And it's a bluesy rocker, really cool, and I got background singers on it. So the song is done. We're shooting a video in a couple weeks. I shot some solo video stuff for it, but I'm really looking forward to that. So, and I like doing it this way because it's manageable.
Yeah.
One song a year. I can focus on it. I don't have to get overwhelmed with it because look, man, between everything else I have going on in my life, there's not a lot of hours in the day for me to do this. And it's for me, it's about quality, not quantity.
Yes.
So one song a year is manageable. And I think, for everybody who's around in 2030, I hope I make it to 2032. But
I think you got it.
I think I'm gonna. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait for everybody to hear, the new song. It's really cool, and again, it shows a different side of my songwriting and performing and vocal ability.
And so these songs are being written, like the other 8 or 9 are not written yet. They're gonna be.
Well, some of them are. I don't know. I'm kind of going to what feels right to me, and I also. Let's just say every year I want to throw a new color out there, if you will. Like this record is a paint swatch, like if you're going to paint a house, you get all these different colors, all these different shades. That's what this is. So I want to be able to show people, But at the end of the day, Sam, look, it's all of my music, no matter what, is great. It's got to have great melodies.
Yes.
It's got to have some cool guitar stuff in it. So it's all wrapped in, it's all pop songwriting.
Yeah.
But it's, I guess, wrapped in a different production, if you will.
And so just to give us, to see how things have changed, how is 10 years ago, 2012 Steve Brown different than this Steve Brown? So maybe we can get a little preview into the next 10 years.
Well, 2012 Steve Brown, I was certainly right at that point. That's when New Audio Machine was released, the first Trixter, all original Trixter album in 17 years.
Yeah.
So we were full on Trixter. It was the original band back together. Things were going great. Sadly, that didn't last. But luckily, I don't know how to explain it, Sam. I've been blessed with such a great career that, financially, things are great.
Yeah.
And I can do things that are more, I do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I don't have to, I don't have to play bars anymore. I don't have to play 5 nights a week playing cover tunes to pay my bills.
Yeah.
I've been blessed with a lot of great things over the last couple of years, over the last, let's say, since 2012. One of them, of course, being Def Leppard. That this is my 9th year of being the fill-in guitar player.
Always on call.
Yeah, always on call. I am right now. My stage clothes are packed in case I need to get on a jet airplane. But it's more about just being happy and being content. I'm also 3.5 years sober, which is a great thing. Yeah, thank you, man. And that is. Improved my life 1,000%.
Yeah.
And I feel like the best is yet to come. So I couldn't be happier. My family's great. My friends are great. I think, for all my friends in the rock and roll business, we're really rounding that. I think we're rounding third base in this whole pandemic COVID
Oh, we've got to
thing.
be close.
Yeah, I know. It's been rough, and I know with this, even on the stadium tour, there were some issues, and, the big tours are still on the COVID protocols.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping by, the end of this year into next year that that's all done and that we can all get back to really getting back to a normal life. And I know that, I'd be stupid to say that it's going to go back to the way it was, because it never will.
Yeah.
It's a new normal. But at least if we can get back to where people aren't afraid to go to concerts anymore, people aren't afraid to go out to restaurants, because there's still, man, people still have that COVID fear.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not one of them, but, I believe in living life. But, I've certainly seen the destructiveness of what COVID has done. I've lost a couple friends over the last couple of years. It's real, but at the same time, I also know that people have to get out and live life. So hopefully that's it. And I'm just looking forward again, man. I was just on the phone with my good buddy Dennis D. Young before, and we were talking about everything, and he was, just saying, hey, man, I love that you're out there, doing it so hard. He's got a different outlook on it, which, he's a lot older than I am, so his looking out at his health is a lot different than mine. But, we're all, everybody's just hoping and praying that we are able to get back out there and enjoy it like we used to. Yeah.
So coming up, we're not going to go 10 years forward now, because that's a lot of years, but just a couple months. You do have Wizards of Winter coming up.
I do. I mean,
I don't know how much you want to
No, we
spill
have,
on that, but-
right now, Wizards of Winter. So the Wizards of Winter, for all you people who don't know, it's a Trans-Siberian style rock and roll show that I do
Yep.
with my dear friends. Greg Smith from Tokyo Motor Fist is in it. Scott and Sharon Kelly, who started the band, and they are the band leaders, and a lot of other great people. Manny Cabo, John O'Reilly, who is in Rainbow,
Yep.
and Blue Oyster Cult on drums. And it's just incredible. It's so much fun. We do a Christmas-inspired holiday show, and the tour starts November 19th, I believe, in Kentucky or Indiana, and it's going to take us through. This is really cool. This year, we're actually going through January. We got 3 shows down at Busch Gardens in Tampa.
Nice.
January 6th, 7th, and 8th, I believe, with Wizards of Winter. So this is my 3rd year in playing with these guys, with this great ensemble of people, and it's so much fun to do these style of shows. Because, again, I've never really done that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I never did the TSO thing, so to be able to do this, it's very much like Rubik's Cube, to where my 80s show, Rubik's Cube, I never did that before. I never, believe it or not, I never wore spandex pants back in the day.
And now you can.
And now I wear spandex all the time. 9 years, it's going to be February, it's going to be 10 years that I've been in Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
So Rubik's Cube, Wizards of Winter, these are very much like Broadway show bands.
Yeah.
To where it's very, over the top, and there are choreography, there are some spoken word lines and things like that. So, and doing Rock of Ages on Broadway certainly, helped me in being able to do shows like this. But again, man, I'm sort of a ham and a extrovert, so anytime I'm on stage, just kind of give me what direction. Okay, you want me to what? I gotta dance and do like cheerleader moves in "Mickey, You're So Fine" by Tony Basil. I can do
figure
that.
it out, yeah.
Or I gotta do some choreographed posing in Ebenezer by the Wizards of Winter. I love doing it all.
Are you still able to fit a scissor kick or two in there, or no?
I haven't done a scissor kick with Wizards of Winter yet. What? No, I do. I do it in Wizards.
There we go.
Of course, it's my signature. I gotta watch these hips though. I'm 52 years old. Oh.
Like what? Jeff Pilson does yoga, right? Just ask him for some tips on it.
I spoke to Jeff a couple weeks ago. I love Jeff.
There you go. Yeah, so he can help you. He can get your hips sorted out.
Here you go.
So as we start to wrap up, is there anything else before we get into? I got 2 more things after. Is there anything else that you want to get out there?
I think that's it. Just thank you to all the fans for always coming out. Come see the Acoustic Trixter shows. Trying to think, what do I got coming up? Got a lot. Wizards of Winter, and you never know. And just follow my social media, and you'll know exactly what's going on in the crazy world of Steve Brown.
So, it's actually 3 things, I guess. I texted some people that we know because I told them I'd be here.
Yeah.
To see if there's anything they wanted to ask. PJ just said LOL, so I don't think he really understood what was happening. It's okay, PJ. We still like you.
What does that mean? Is that Lemonade Online?
I think so. He either way, he didn't present me with a question.
Laughing on. I don't know. I'm trying to make that up.
I don't know. So, and then I texted Victor, and he wants to know. And there's one answer to this question: who's your favorite Brazilian guitar player?
Of course. Victor Adriel.
Okay.
Of course.
I texted him back and I said, if it's not you, that's gonna suck.
Yeah,
so,
he's the Brazilian Steve Brown.
Yes.
He's got the good thick eyebrows. Love you, Victor.
And
Amigo.
And then the last one, oh, this is rough. All right, so Ted Poley, he wants to know, have you ever fucked a chick listening to one of his ballads? And if not, what's taking you so long? And then he said, or just say hi. So whichever one you want to respond to.
Yeah, no, and that's emphatic no. And
what's
love
taking
you,
so long?
TP, you bastard.
That dude does not change.
Yeah, of course not. But miss you, buddy, and see you soon. And concentrate on comedic kindness. That's for you, TP.
All right, and with that, goodbye, everybody.
Sam,
Thank you, Steve.
and announcement, Sam is off to college tomorrow.
No, Thursday. I need tomorrow to pack.
Oh, there you go. That's right.
I don't have any of it's packed up.
There you go. All right. Well, make sure you bring lots of baby powder and a couple extra toothbrushes. But
I have a six-pack.
Everybody out there in the worldwide intraweb world of social media, we give it up to our buddy Sam Wall here. He's going off to college. He's a child no longer. And hopefully he's going to come back smarter, and he's going to educate me on the music business.
No, that's not happening.
And I hope someday that Sam gets a job at Warner Brothers Records, and he's able to write me an 8-figure advance check for the Steve Brown solo record.
Definitely try.
That's what I'm hoping.
Can you put in a good word, or?
Of course, I think I can. I know some people at Warner Brothers.
There you go. All right, so that's the goal. 10 years, you'll have your solo record out. 10 years, I will be rich and famous thanks to you. Thank you very much, Steve.
Well, just keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate it. You're a great kid. I've known you since you were in diapers, and here you are.
I think I met you like 6 months ago.
Is that it? Oh,
I think so. When was the cruise?
Don't you wear diapers?
I don't. No.
Yeah, that's a bad omen to have. Yeah.
No, not yet.
That happens to old people. Don't get old. It's my father-in-law always says to me.
So you can do scissor kicks.
Right.
Don't get too old to do scissor kicks.
Thank God for hair dye.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Thanks for having us.